Welcome back to my channel guys. Today I'll take you through my latest gameplay walkthrough. If you enjoyed this video, please hit thumbs up, share and subscribe to our channel.
Moment of your time, Commander. Remember that matter on Cloister I mentioned earlier? Well, since we're here and all, thought we might take it up now. Might be hard to believe, but 20 or so odd years ago, I made a mistake. Feels like high time I righted it. Now I'm out and about again. That's where the error occurred, I believe. Others judged it such. I shut it down. Believe I was wrong to do so. For many years now, a former colleague of mine's been in a remote spot called Reasons Pass, on account of my decision. I try not to think about regret or remorse. I shut down her work. I was wrong. Stating that out loud is the furthest extent of my self-castigation. Her research was unconventional, surely. She was as well. I think with both, we could right things, get the Order back on its intended path. Inquire away. I may even respond. Oh, I am a dedicated member of the Order. Beyond that, there's really little you or anyone need to hear about. Consider yourself lucky. You already know more about me than anyone else I've met in the last 20-odd years. Information free of context can be off-putting, confusing, dangerous even, if misjudged. I mentioned before I was part of the Department of Preemptive Causal Redirection. My role there, you may recall, was head intercessor. I was tasked to influence pivotal events, to keep the solving of the equation on track. Something occurred. I needed to step off the board a while. To put it mildly, after the incident in question, seeking refuge seemed prudent. Dorado appealed to me because it was off the board but not completely remote. There I could lie low for a time, but observe. So I'd believed. Our department was shuttered shortly after Ruth Pissar took office. To avoid undue attention, I remained in hiding. I'm not hearing a question. Another crack like that, and you might just find out. Our department employed a variety of methods to obviate hindrances and threats to the Order's efforts. We were considered wardens of the grand plan, helping correct it when needed. All of us are part of the plan. We follow the path intended for us by the architect. We should, at least. Now and then, some push back against their path, but it never ends well. Corrections can take time, even delay in the solving of the equation. That's where we came in, to get things back on track in the timeliest of manners. Some were proprietary. Often they involved forms of subtle persuasion, others more overt influence. Now and again, more direct means were required. Sometimes with purpose. Don't you as well? Do you draw some moral distinction between avenging harm and nipping it in the bud beforehand? Between covert and overt means? When all is said and done, are those in your ledger any less dead than mine? Had a sense you felt that way. We'll see if situations force that to change. May all our endeavors yield expected results.
That's the central tower of the Archive. Too marvelous a piece of engineering to be in the hands of heretics, you ask me.
This weather's quite conducive for cooling the archive, and unconducive for me feeling my fingers.
I find your proposed time leisurely. Unaccountably so. But going any faster grossly increases the threat of collapse. Burying us beneath the snow benefits no one. So long as we are operating within the statistical parameters given to us. Have you at least determined the cause of the avalanche?
We're presently observing a ceasefire with Auntie's choice, but its duration may be subject to sudden reversal. Would hate for you to get caught in any crossfire. Gathering data on the enemy's movements and behavior. Blizzards raise the degree of difficulty, but that's our problem, not yours. How comforting objective truth can be. Cloister has been a difficult front, and losing the archive, first to the invaders and now to the Protectorate, has made it even more painful. Never mind the rifts. If you're looking for a way to help us out, I recommend heading to Laplace's garden. Follow this path and you can't miss it. Only the finest place on this ice ball. Words aren't sufficient to capture its many quality attributes. Best you observe it yourself. Avalanche collapsed part of the tunnel to the garden, so the safest path is along the cliffside here. Mind your step.
Before we head to the archive, perhaps we should entreat the Order or Auntie's choice for aid against the Protectorate defenses. Sound to be rather formidable.
Lovely day for differential geometry.
Show your workers shove off. Did you receive your personalized order prediction yet? I'll admit to a bit of trepidation in regards to opening mine. This is the first one I've received since deployment.
Honestly, the ones you get in the...
Use caution as you progress. There's been reports of arthropods in the area.
Proceeding to attack.
It appears we've dealt with all of them. Oh, that was a close one.
Heard that rip? Halt! The Oracle Laureate sent ahead to expect someone matching your description. However, he said nothing about admitting questionable allies. Cultist. Agitators are not permitted inside Laplace's garden. Your companion will have to wait outside.
How'd you like to find your insides waiting outside?
I find that an improbable outcome were we to engage in violent conflict. Fine. The consequence is beyond your head if it proves otherwise. Head on in.
These need to be clean.
Please keep your behavior within acceptable parameters.
Agent, I have a message for you. Oh, I was not expecting you to be in the company of a cultist.
A cultist and her extremely sharp knife. Shall I introduce you?
No, that won't be necessary. Where was I? Oh, yes, I remember now. On behalf of the Order of the Ascendant, and her impermeable wisdom, the presiding bishop Ruth Bassar, welcome to Laplace's garden. The presiding bishop is presently indisposed, but I've been instructed to direct you to the Artificer Laureate for whatever pressing matter has brought you to the garden. She's working in Belvedere Hall's secondary courtyard. Enter the large building at the top of the mesa ahead and follow the first hall on your right. Oh no, not at all. The presiding bishop routinely spends time in a sensory deprivation chamber to hone her mental faculties. Of course, she does seem to be logging more hours in the chamber of late, but I'm certain that's all part of the plan. The rest of the Laureate Council is capable of managing affairs while the presiding bishop is occupied. Really, it's no reason for concern. Nothing in the garden is. Oh, yes. The vicar did ask me to direct you to him. How positively forgetful of me. He should be waiting for you in Belvedere Hall's main courtyard at the top of the stairs. The Artificer Laureate is head of the Department of Applied Scientism, overseeing the exemplars, or craftsmen, of our order. Weapons and technology all fall under her purview. Belvedere Hall used to serve primarily as the garden's hub for all manner of research, instruction, and study. A beacon on the hill of progress. Since the Order's forced dispossession of Spireton and the Archive, many spaces within the hall have been repurposed to serve as a temporary headquarters. Which is to say, please excuse our mess, we're still remodeling. Look around you. I don't see a battlefield. Do you? All conflict is transient in nature. To dwell on the negativity of a moment is to risk missing the opportunity of what comes next. Those in the garden have enough perspective to remain present and to focus on what matters: science and progress. And you for recognizing such quality of vision. But now, I fear I have kept you long past an ideal duration. May all your problems precede solutions.
Are you going to be a problem? Because I have a solution that requires very little computation.
This place smells like science. Or maybe that's math.
The plan is always in motion, so move along.
Agent, over here. Well, this is a welcome confluence of events. Why, without you, Gertie and I wouldn't be alive. And any hope of peace between the Order and Auntie's choice would be over. Dreadful, you know. Positively dreadful. How the peace talks were interrupted. I felt our two delegations were making real progress. While making our escape, we encountered one of the renegades of my order, wounded and dying. He sought to unburden himself, now convinced Wiley's calculations were wrong. He told us all about that terrible De Vries woman's plan, and theorized you must have stopped her. Well, I think that's what he said. There was quite a lot of gurgling. You have mine and Gertie's utmost gratitude for intervening. Had she succeeded in assassinating us, it would have terminated any hope for peace. Officially, not at present. Gertie and I have kept up communication through back channels in the hope that the discussions can be reconvened in due time. It is my earnest belief that this is the optimal course to chart for the Order, and for Arcadia. Though we could certainly use assistance from an outside force like yourself. To begin, I believe you would need to put forth efforts in good faith with each of the two groups. Earning the trust of both sides is essential. Once you've worked your way up to meeting our respective leaders, you must convince them to consider joining forces. Oh, really? Perhaps the challenge rating is far less than I've hitherto calculated. Well, obviously you'll likely have to act as an intermediary between Ruth and Auntie, which will require some verbal finesse. But let's worry about that step upon reaching it. Transplendent! Remember, seek out ways to help both sides. Engender trust. Gertie and I can let you know when it's time to move forward. In the meantime, I might recommend you work on honing your oratory skills. Our presiding bishop and Auntie Cleo can be challenging to debate with.
Please don't distract me from my
You
more
are
pressing
admitted. The
distractions.
Chamber of Conflict Evaluation and Strategic Planning is currently off limits to non-essential Order personnel.
You. I don't know who you are. But if you thought it wise to bring a cultist into the heart of Order territory, you are deeply foolish. I have not the slightest theory as to how you bypassed our guards. But if it was through violence, be assured, it will be returned exponentially.
Exactly. Though, to be honest, I was thinking of filleting you, but it didn't seem worth getting Artificer all over me.
I shall be the judge of her trustworthiness myself. There is a cultist-centric issue the Order needs resolved. I suspect you are capable of doing such. If you are not, I cannot trust you, and certainly cannot allow you to see Ruth.
If these cultists are suffering the same affliction of being traitorous curs as the others seem to be, then I look forward to killing them. I don't know about all that. As much as I'd welcome the bloodshed, it may be wise for me to avoid members of the Dawn until I get their treachery sorted.
My task is this. A myriad of cultists have taken over the settlement of Newton, which is a nearby site of historical but not strategic significance. I want them gone. Once there was a bridge stretching from the settlement to the archive, but it was destroyed by a rift. Best keep your distance should you travel there. First, The Order's artillery has long since been rendered inoperable by Protectorate attacks. Second, Newton is a heritage site, so I don't want it reduced to cinders. And third, and most importantly, that would tell me nothing of your trustworthiness. Journey to Newton. Eliminate the cultists to a person. Then we may speak of getting you an audience with Ruth. Newton contains the Six Pillars Chantry, which was one of the first temples founded after Arcadia's colonization. It's over 100 years old. The cultists are likely profaning it. But even if they aren't, I don't want them there. Our loss of Newton is symbolic. If we cannot protect it, how can we protect Arcadia? May you prove my plethora of doubts unfounded. And may you keep your cultist colleague in line on your way out.
You're lucky the commander needs something from you, or you'd be looking at your intestines on the ground right about now.
Soldier, please assess your pain on a variable scale of 1 to 100. With 1 being entirely pain-free and 100 being the worst pain you can imagine.
There is far too much variability in that scale. The amount of pain I can imagine.
don't know you, but you, I do. It's good to see you, Aza. It's me, Severin. You know, I've never been to Cloister before. It's cold.
What is wrong with you? Boy, damn it! Did they mentally refresh you?
No, let's just say I'm well lubricated. You tried the new Prestige gin? It helps when you have to do something you really don't want to do. Yes, there are a bunch of sentinels in hiding. When I give the word, they're to execute both of you.
Not before I mentally refresh your brain pan with my knife.
Maybe I deserve to be. I didn't want to do this. I guess I shouldn't have questioned the kill order so loudly. It was real. It came from the exalted leader herself. She summoned me, knew of the message I'd sent, said I'd ruined everything. To save myself, save the Dawn, I had to do this. I'm a coward. I didn't want to die. I'm sorry, Aza.
Absolutely not. We don't need his help. We should just kill him and get on with the Sentinel killing. If we die, at least I'll be taking a great many of them with us. You make a compelling argument. No need to waste our time killing yet more faceless cogs in the Protectorate machine. As fun as that may be.
But you're basically just asking me whether I'd like to be killed by you or the Sentinels. Because what... That gin must have muddled my gray matter more than I thought. I'd have sworn there was no way out of this, but what you're saying makes a lot of sense. Thank you. And thank you, Aza. I thought I was dead.
What an idiot. I can't believe I thought of him as a friend. I can't believe she betrayed us. And the whole of the Dawn to save her own life. What a coward. The unspeakable things I will do when I find her. Well, once I find her. The exalted... No, I won't refer to her as such any longer. Dagmar continually moved around for safety. She always initiated contact with me. We do know that she was in league with the Sentinels, though. There's nothing of it but to get ourselves inside their headquarters on Praetor. We'll track her by accessing their comm system. We don't need to worry about their systems. My parents were vigilant. I stole their access codes when I was younger, but never had the nerve or call to use them. Once we do, they'll become unusable, as they'll set off all sorts of alarms.
Standing by to stupefy.
Dagmar didn't betray us to the Sentinels. She is a Sentinel, with a fucking office here in Central Control. It's enough to make one take leave of their sanity.
Oh, child, I think that tram has long since cleared the station.
I'm just going to pretend I didn't hear that. Fortunately, there's an easy solution to Dagmar's betrayal, one which involves removing her head from her body. Or maybe we should start with the disemboweling? So many choices.
I I suppose congratulations are in order for having dispatched so many sentinels. Can't rightly say I'm surprised, what with your knack for wanton violence. But still, impressive. And let's not forget that I was the one who gave Aza Leitinger a purpose and fulfillment. Look at how much fun you've had.
Oh, she's dead already. But I might make it quick if you have a good explanation for your betrayal.
Let's not be hasty. I mean, can it even be a betrayal if it was always lies? But I must say, when I started the Dawn at the Consul's behest, I knew you were the perfect candidate.
What are you talking about? There were cultists before me!
No, there were not. The fiction of a cult was born out of the need to convince the Sovereign to return to the true spirit of the Protectorate. The Consul feared he was too weak.
So what we found in the Rift Lab was true. Everything Dagmar told me was lies. Our cause isn't righteous.
As much as I'd prefer to not anger you, I must say your willful ignorance is still a thing to behold. You are always so willing to accept even the most specious of arguments. I can only hope your luck has run its course, and the remaining sentinels are able to put you down. Your death would put me back in the Consul's good graces. Goodbye, Aza.
No, that's too quick. What about... No, not painful enough. Yes, that's it! I just need to find a piece of heat-conducting metal and something to peel the skin effectively.
Dear, you really must try to work smarter, not harder, when it comes to effectively inflicting pain before eliminating a target. You'll wear yourself out.
What, you suddenly take issue with my methods? I can think of no reason to curtail the pleasure of my revenge. Dagmar must die. Violently. Her betrayal warrants no other response. I know of no other way to act.
Imbeciles! How did you let Aza get this far? Stop her! She means to assassinate me!
Aggressor at hand.
Target analyzed. Lay down fire.
alive. Now, let's not be too hasty here. You seem a rational person. There must be something we can do to resolve this peacefully. Please don't let Aza get her hands on me.
Why are you talking to them, Dagmar? I'm the one you must answer to. What? Why? Fine. But you are only prolonging the inevitable.
I must say, I am in favor of prolonging the inevitable myself. What I did for the greater good, to save the colony, all at the Consul's behest. It was my duty as a loyal subject to the true Protectorate. What other reason need there be? And Aza, she was an obvious choice. So lost, so dead inside, so in need of guidance. But then, she went berserk. I never imagined how she'd take to the killing and mayhem. You brought me great praise from the Consul. Until you started asking questions and killing the wrong people. The Consul feared that the Sovereign wasn't up to the task he inherited. He actually believed the subjects no longer needed such a firm guiding hand. So the Consul set to creating a challenge for the Sovereign to rise to make manifest the hidden dangers he refused to see. It began with labeling political subversives members of a fictitious cult. When that didn't work, the Consul enlisted me to make the glorious dawn a reality.
Enough of this blathering on. It's well past time for Dagmar and her life to part ways.
No, let's talk this through! She's dead.
As am I. She should have suffered more for what she did. You know, for a moment there, I was questioning everything, but it quickly became obvious she was just lying to save herself. You're so naive. But don't feel bad. It took me until now to see through her subterfuge. No. The glorious dawn was always true. She was just using it for her own debased ends. Now that Dagmar is dead, I'll be leading the dawn into the glorious future. True. There may be those that do not accept my leadership, but they will die. The dawn is too important to disband. What little risk any of them may pose doesn't concern me. I can send out a general message from here, informing the cells that the previous exalted leader has betrayed us and has been dealt with, and that I am now in charge. I suspect some will simply jump into the closest rift. And to be perfectly candid, I'm hoping there are more than a few that refuse to acknowledge their new leader. Enough to keep my knife skills up at least. It's done. Let's leave this place. It sickens me.
Thank you for watching. Please leave a comment and let us know how you like this video. This helps us bring you more such interesting content.